Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill and welcome to Suncoast FYI. Today we welcome back Mayor Hagan Brody for part 2 of our interview that we began last week. Plus we take a look ahead at the exciting season at the Van Wezel with Executive Director Mary Benzel, and we learn about Children's First from their CEO, Philip Tavill. It's a nonprofit on the Suncoast serving hundreds of Sarasota's most vulnerable children. Sarasota Mayor Hagan Brody is with us again this week because we had such a great conversation last week. And today we wanted to get more into the policy direction for the city of Sarasota. Thank you again for coming back, making this time for us. We had so much to talk about and we didn't get to it. So today let's tell our viewers and your constituents and the city of Sarasota, since you took over as mayor in 2020, what changes have you been working on at City Hall and in the city of Sarasota itself?
Great question, and thanks for having me.
Of course.
The last 6 or 7 months or so, we've really been focused on 2 things. One is our continued response to COVID, and we've had a number of events in the city and tried to get as many vaccinations out as possible to people that need and want them. But also internally, we've been working on a lot of things at City Hall. You might have noticed we've had a management change at City Hall, which we made early in the year. We have a new city manager. His name's Marlon Brown. He's doing a fantastic job. And really just working closely with him to take the city, I think, in a more responsive direction. We've also...
when you say responsive direction, what do you
Well,
mean?
responsive to the community.
Okay.
Really responsive to what I think the community expects of us and wants us to respond to, or the direction that they want to see us move in. Okay. It's no secret that City Hall and city government has had some problems over the last several years, and we're trying to address that, but the only way we can do that is really looking internally and changing some things up. So we have a new police chief as well, and we're looking at restructuring some of the departments internally. Another really important thing for me is professionalizing the organization. So from the top down, we are really taking new pride in being a professional and responsive organization that is going to better respond to the citizens' needs and demands, which is what we're here for. And so, a lot of those changes have been happening behind the scenes that many people may or may not have noticed, but I think that it puts us in the best position to move forward into the future and really address some of the big issues that this community has, in many circumstances, been dealing with for a very long time. But we couldn't get there without taking care of some of that in-house, some of those in-house issues.
Okay.
So now we're turning our attention, it's not that we haven't stopped working on these issues while we've been doing that, but I think now we're turning our attention more towards some of those issues that the community is very concerned about and interested in. Okay. We have a number of big issues in the city that really affect the whole region that we need to move on, and I think we owe it to the community to have decisive action and a plan to move forward on them.
Okay, so what's your vision and your team's vision for the city moving forward, and the biggest challenges that you see, making those changes happen?
Sure, and you said the word team, and I think that's important because we do have several new commissioners that have been elected, and they're doing a fantastic job. And I think that we are starting to see a singular vision for the community. My philosophy for this is using the formula that really got us to this point. We've been a very successful community up to this point, and I think the formula is rather simple, and it's really just 3 prongs. One is one of the things that makes us a successful community is access to the water and the bayfront and the beaches. And that under that umbrella comes a lot of different projects, from water quality projects like we're working on at Bobby Jones and at the Bay, to access issues, which means including our transportation options for everybody to be able to enjoy the water and the beaches, which is what brought a lot of people here to begin with. We also need to make improvements on the assets that allow people to enjoy those areas. So when you look at St. Armand Circle and you look at the Bayfront, the Bay Park, we're investing a lot of money into making those assets more easily accessible to everyone and a better experience. The other one is our arts and culture. That's kind of the second leg to this three-legged stool. It's really our duty and responsibility to make sure that our arts and cultural institutions have what they need and are in a position to offer the richness of the culture that they've provided for so long to the next generation of Sarasotans. So it doesn't mean that we have to keep, and nor can we keep, everything the same. It means that we have to work with these institutions to make sure that they are in a position to continue to offer this cultural and arts amenities to future generations to come. And we've seen that with Selby Gardens. We're working with the orchestra and the Van Wezel as well in making sure that they're going to be here for decades to come. The third leg that I think has been missing from the discussion for a long time is really acknowledging and reincorporating and acknowledging our circus heritage. That was a major part of why Sarasota became what it ended up becoming, and really John Ringling's vision for this community. And I just think that a lot of the heritage and history of that really worldwide phenomenon and integral part of our history has been lost. And so my hope is that we incorporate more of our circus heritage into the community, into our public art, into our city, just to really pay it homage, but also keep that formula that really made us successful to begin with.
It is really part of who we've always been. I mean, if it wasn't for John Ringling, it would be interesting to see what we looked like. One quick question before we go. You mentioned transportation. What do you have in mind for alleviating some of the, we have all of these wonderful new people coming to this great area. What type of transportation changes do you foresee in the future?
Well, traffic is a major issue for our community, and it really touches on a lot of different areas, from land use to connectivity to just plain old traffic grid. So a couple of things that I'm looking at is I'm looking at our traffic grid and how we can improve our grid that has been broken over decades to create more options for drivers. So not everybody has to take the same route to get to where they need to go. The other is expanding multimodal opportunities. We do have the Legacy Trail coming into the community, and so what we're doing is really investing a lot of money in the infrastructure to create more multimodal lanes and sidewalks for pedestrians and bicyclists and scooters. We're investing in a new trolley service that's going to take people from the downtown core out to the St. Armand Circle and the beach.
That's what I want to hear.
And I am very, very excited about that. And we'll be really pushing that hard for implementation before next season.
All right.
Because I think that's going to be very popular.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. And if our viewers have any questions, they should direct them to whom?
Sure. You can email me directly at hagen.brody@sarasotafl.gov, or feel free to give us a call at City Hall. My door is always open.
All right. Thank you so much again, Mayor.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Just ahead on Suncoast FYI, we learn how the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Mary Benzel is the executive director of the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall, and she is back with us now to discuss how the Arts Hall has been impacted through the pandemic and fared through the pandemic, is, I guess, probably a better summation.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Okay. It's been a year for everybody, but as you and I were just talking about, COVID-19 severely impacted the Van Wezel operations on a number of levels. Tell our viewers about that and where you are right now in that whole process of coming
Sure.
out of it, Mary.
Well, it impacted our entire industry, whether you were the live entertainment industry, whether you were the opera or the ballet or the theater. It's been horrific, a year like no other. It was very, very tough to deal with. And when we went home after that on March Day, when the city manager called me and we all got together and we decided to close, we thought we'd be closed for 2 weeks, 2 months.
Right.
And suddenly
Exactly.
it's well over a year. And of course we opened with Brian Regan recently with a 50% capacity show, but it took a lot to even get there. And the situation is we had to think out of the box. Thank goodness that's what theater people do in the first place. But because we had saved up money with our surpluses over the years, we were able to at least go on, and with most of my staff, but I had to furlough over 30%, and if you wanted to look at, include my part-time staff, it was over 60%.
And that was
you know.
because you didn't get any of the PPE money?
We didn't get any PPP money because they had a rule against that for governments. And
you fall under that umbrella
yes,
here.
because our parent is the city, but I don't get any money from the city taxes or anything. Every dollar the Van Wezel operates, we've earned ourselves, either through our ticket sales or our meals or anything to do with that, or grants or philanthropy. And so we're being really harshly treated.
Okay,
And-
what about now? I mean,
Yeah,
is
well,
there
there's a
any
new
light
grant.
at the end of the tunnel
There
now?
was light at the end of the tunnel. We were really excited. There was an SOS Act, which is Save Our Stages, and we lobbied on that for so hard, and it turned into a shuttered venue grant program where there was $16 billion. And the Van Wezel, they had priority periods where you could get funding, and we were actually up for $5.8 million we would be, which would help us with the millions we've lost this year. And we would have been in the second priority category because we had lost 84%. And then 2 days before the application was to go live, someone in the Small Business Administration decided that
Local small business?
no, national, that all governments that happen to own a venue like a theater had to go last. They said that was what Congress intended, and we pored over the legislation, and it doesn't say that. So we've reached out to Senator Marco Rubio, who is very important with the Small Business Administration. It's just not fair. We don't get taxpayer fund. We, in fact, pay our share to the city. And so to think for all these months that we were going to get this major save, like all the other arts groups have been super, the opera, the ballet, the orchestra. Joe McKenna has always tried to reach his hand out to try to help us. And then, what we've also done at the Van Wezel during this time is when we haven't been able to do shows, we have been able to do our education programs with 40,000 kids, families, teachers, getting programs for free from us.
So
streaming.
that's what you've been doing
We've
now
been doing
since,
that.
wonderful.
We've also, we've done a vaccination clinic. We've vaccinated 3,000 people. We worked with Dr. Manny Gordillo, who's the head epidemiologist at Sarasota Memorial. He looked over my reopening plan, put the stamp of approval on it, and then he and I started talking, and we were talking, gee, wouldn't it be nice to do a vaccination clinic? And the next thing you know, the mayor heard about that, Mayor Hagan Brody, and he ran with it, and he just pounded on the governor's desk, and we got the vaccine, and my entire staff of the Van Wezel volunteered for 2 different weekends, and it was like 7 in the morning
fabulous.
till 4:30.
I saw the coverage of it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was so great for us.
Okay, so moving forward, what type of events do you have coming up, Mary?
Sure.
Let's get to some positive.
Yeah, positive things. Bay Music Live we have coming up with Yesterdays, and that's on May 8th. And they are a great group. We're almost sold out, and so we may add another performance. I don't know.
Wonderful.
And we've also been doing cabarets during this time.
Indoors?
Indoors.
So you have safety protocols.
We have safety
and
protocols
okay.
and in the main stage, the second show we'll be having is Classic Albums Live with Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, and that is on May 14th. And then we will be continuing this summer to do events, and I have another major comedian that I could be mentioning any day now that will be coming in June inside the hall, and we're very excited about that.
So what type of safety protocols do you have?
Sure. Before anybody comes in, we have a mass fogging procedure where we use this Pathosan, which is it kills 99.999, and it's all natural ingredients, and it's a brilliant product. We also have hand sanitizers everywhere. We have social distancing right now. We're only operating to the tune of 50%, so there's 2 seats in between you and the next people. We have temperature checks. And then we have, I'm going to read this because let me tell you, it's called an ultravation photocatalytic units that are installed in the air conditioning handlers. And that basically scrubs the air and cleans it from all the impurities. And then they found out that where people were catching things were in smaller spaces like bathrooms. So we have air scrubbers in all the bathrooms that we have. And so we have been very lucky. Everything has worked beautifully at the Van Wezel. So we're
everybody
happy.
Should feel very safe. And
Yes.
we're back to where we can start enjoying.
And we're going to announce our new
again.
season soon. So
And
that's going to be.
Where can our viewers find out about that?
Yeah, I'll be making an announcement. We'll have it on our websites. This year we decided not to do a printed brochure because things have been moving so fast. Like a show changes and cancels and ads. So we have a virtual brochure on our website that you can actually print out. And if you don't have a computer, you can call us and we'll send you one.
Lovely.
And also in the newspaper and everywhere. I mean, you know me, I'm everywhere telling everybody.
Everywhere, and I'm glad you're back here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see you because it's such a happy face. But we're
thank
excited because our hearts were broken and now they are uplifted
mending.
and we're ready to entertain, make people laugh.
Let's
make them dance.
Let's do it.
I can't wait.
Okay, me too. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you so
Natasha is
much.
here, so if you're wondering why I'm looking over, her lovely assistant.
She's fantastic. And I say it again, my whole staff hung in there with me. Those I had to lay off or furlough. It was very tough for all of us because we're a family, but what a great team.
Great. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Next on Suncoast FYI, a nonprofit making an impact on children's lives for 60 years. Children First has been helping Suncoast children for 60 years. And with us today is CEO Philip Tavel to discuss the wonderful work this nonprofit does. Well, it's been amazing, 60 years. You're doing something right.
Well, we'd like to think so, but actually we know so.
Okay. You've got the formula worked out. So tell our viewers a little bit with a brief history of this Children
Absolutely.
First,
So as you mentioned, 60 years. So in 1961, a group of women from the Junior League, really visionary women, came together and said, how do we help our community? And they focused on early childhood education. They said if we can care for these kids, if we can help these kids be ready for kindergarten, their families can be out working. Their families can be out going to school. And it really gives a big boost. So it's something that's been woven as a core value, as a core practice through our 60 years.
Okay, so how do you support these children actually?
So our focus is on families that are living below the federal poverty level, and we focus on early care and education. So that's infant and toddler care, it's preschool care. So at 15 sites throughout Sarasota County, 5 days a week, babies and toddlers and preschoolers come into our care. We have excellent teachers, infant and toddler specialists who work with the kids, bottom line, to have them be really ready for kindergarten. In spite of all the obstacles that their families face, Our children are ready to go when they get to
And
kindergarten.
they want to learn. They're little sponges when they're that age, right?
They are little sponges, and we work and are successful in instilling what we like to say is the lifetime love of learning.
Yes.
And
it
it
does
works
start then. It
really
does start
well.
preschool.
The other aspect I'll just tell you that people don't see. So when you come to tour, you see the beautiful kids.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of work with families. We help them with goal setting. We help them with finding resources in the community.
Sure.
We help them deal with crises in their lives. And by working with the child and the family, you can really have outstanding results.
Well, that's it. I mean, they're a unit. So if you can't just help one without helping the other, or you're not going to really see any progress.
It's exactly the case.
Okay. All right. How long have you had your current role as president, Philip?
So in February of this year, I celebrated my 25th anniversary.
Yay! Wow!
you.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
think you like what you do.
I have a little bit of passion for it, and it's really been great. It's a mission that's in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I work for a wonderful board of directors. I work with phenomenal staff and volunteers and donors to our mission, and each year literally gets better. No matter what the challenges are, each year we grow, we meet more unmet need, we become better at what we do. So it's extraordinarily gratifying.
And it is, and it's inspiring, and that's what you do. It keeps you moving forward because you know you can do more, because you've done it. Now, 60-year anniversary. What are you doing to celebrate this amazing landmark?
Well, we're a number of things actually. This past, in the last couple of weeks, we celebrated our gala. It looked a little bit different than it typically does.
As everyone's has a
Yep,
little
but it
adapted.
went very well, and we
Uh-huh.
focused on our history of 60 years. We put together a beautiful video presentation. We focused on parents' testimonials talking about what this has meant for them. And in celebrating 60 years, we have any number of smaller events in addition to our gala. We have folks who are hosting us in their homes to talk about our history and our programs. And we've also launched, and this is really big for us, the Challenge for Changing Lives.
I like
And
that.
it's a year-long matching campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And a very generous group of folks came together to establish the match. They're the Diamond Circle, our diamond anniversary. And we have a match. They have put up $1,060,000
Wow.
to match us raising the equivalent amount dollar for dollar.
Wow.
And it's going well so far.
When did that start?
So we launched that actually publicly just a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And we'll run it through the end of the year, and it's going very well. People love our mission. They love the idea that they can double their investment. So the Challenge for Changing Lives is a very concrete way of celebrating 60 years of success.
So our community can go to your website and make donations there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Childrenfirst.net, like safety net.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful way to learn more about us as well.
Can they view that video that you were just talking about with all the testimonials?
We
on
can
it?
provide links. We have other testimonials. We'll be putting
Okay.
excerpts of it up as well, so they
Okay.
can hear from the parents directly.
Okay. Now, obviously, over the course of your career, I would hope that you have gained recognition outside of your local, team and peer group. Anything special, awards and recognitions that you'd like to
Well,
share with us?
Thank you for asking. I'll start with a national recognition. We're a Head Start program, and the National Head Start Association has recognized us as a program of excellence. There are over 1,800 programs in the country. There are 9 out of 1,800 programs of excellence.
Wow.
And out of the 9, there are 2 that have received it 4 consecutive times. Very proud of that.
And you've done that.
We have done that. We have just been named one of the top 50 nonprofits in the country to work for by the Nonprofit Times, a national publication. The SRQ Best of voting, we were nominated by the community in 6 categories. We had silver as third place for the best nonprofit, and the other categories, best childhood nonprofit, best preschool, best to adapt to COVID, best to provide COVID services. Wow. And I'm very humbled, best nonprofit exec.
Oh.
We took platinum in 5 of the 6 categories.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
So thank you.
Oh my goodness.
It's a reflection really of our focus on mission. It's a reflection of a great board of directors, an extraordinarily talented and committed staff, and all the people who say, we want to support your mission as volunteers and as donors.
Well, thank you. Thank you and congratulations, and wish you the best of luck getting to that match, and I hope you surpass it by quite a bit.
We aren't going to meet it, we're going to beat it.
There you go.
So thank you so much for your kind words.
Absolutely. Pleasure meeting you.
Mine.
If you would like to promote your community or nonprofit event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you, and this is a complimentary service. Please call our producer, Adam Huntley, at 941-361-4645. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.